A fascinating look at the rise of Argentinian cinema. The South Bank Show in 10 minutes' time. It's after the ITV News with Steve Scott.
Hello. The government's chief medical officer says Britain will face a bird flu pandemic and at least 50,000 people could be killed. Sir Liam Donaldson warned today that it's just a matter of time before a mutant strain of the virus appears, though it probably won't be as soon as this winter. The government says it has ordered 14 million doses of flu vaccine, though only 2 million have arrived so far. Julie Ghosh reports.
If Britain is hit by a bird flu pandemic, government measures could be extreme. Public events banned, schools closed down, and free movement of the population restricted. But if the virus gets here and it mutates, it may be impossible to stop. Scientists say the risk is tiny. Only 60 people have died from bird flu and they caught it from birds, not other humans. But if it reaches this country, it could mutate and spread among people. The chief medical officer says there's no vaccine, so thousands could die.
People don't have natural immunity because it hasn't been around before. So the estimate we're working for in the number of deaths is around 50,000 excess deaths from flu. But it could be a lot higher than that. It very much depends whether this mutated strain is a mild one or a more serious one.
The government is stockpiling Tamiflu, an antiviral that will reduce the symptoms though not prevent them. But they need 14 million doses. So far they've acquired just 2.5 million. Critics say Britain has reacted too slowly. The government disagrees. Government departments have their contingency plans in place, but the bottom line is experts just don't know what will happen. Sir Liam Donaldson says if there is a pandemic, it's unlikely to hit Britain this winter. Julie Ghosh, ITV News, Central London.
Conservative leadership contender David Cameron insists he is still in a strong position for the top Tory job. The bookie's favourite has weathered a week of bad publicity after refusing to say whether he'd taken Class A drugs. And ahead of the first round of voting on Tuesday, the MP says he has significant support.
It's time to get on with the real issue in the leadership election, which is who is best placed to modernise the Conservative Party, to reach out to voters we haven't appealed to before. I'm getting a very good response from constituency chairmen, from members of the public, and also a very good response from members of Parliament.
Britain's senior military police investigator in Iraq has been found dead. The body of Captain Ken Masters was discovered at his barracks in the southern city of Basra. He was in charge of all serious investigations into the conduct of British troops. His death isn't being treated as suspicious. A young girl has been pulled alive from the rubble in Kashmir 8 days after the earthquake struck, killing almost 40,000 people across South Asia. But stories of survival are few and far between. Many who lived through Pakistan's earthquake are now dying of cold and hunger in its aftermath. Some remote communities have received no aid or help since the quake struck. It's estimated around 700,000 villagers could be trapped in the mountains.
We still don't have a control on how bad the situation is up there. We were just told this morning that the weather up there is much worse than it is here, and we know that there are people out there. We know that from our rough aerial assessments that there are entire villages that have been flattened.
Sport now, and in the Premiership, Manchester City are up to 4th after beating West Ham 2-1 today. Andy Cole, 34 yesterday, showed he still has what it takes by scoring both goals. That first one, a clever chip after combining with Darius Vassell. Elsewhere, Aston Villa beat Birmingham 1-0. And that's it. The news continues on the ITV News channel with more on today's top stories. But from all the team here, good night.